Okay, so hello everyone. We are from Group 4 and today we are going to explain about assessing writing. But first of all, I would like to introduce you guys to our honor group member. This one is Olga.
Hello, my name is Olga. My serial number is 062.
Hello guys, my name is Stela and my serial number is 062.
Hello, my name is Pedro and my serial number is 052.
Right, now let's just move on to the main subject, shall we?
Okay, yes, I will. Okay, so first of all, we'd like to give you a recap of what is writing assessment. So if you can read on this screen, so assessment reading, assesses writing. I mean, is it about something that you can try to evaluate students' ability to produce the writing and also to create the writing process. So there we are trying to evaluate how far students can evaluate a written language processing. It can be on essay and whatever it is. So the thing is that we want to evaluate them. And in assessing writing, we have 5 cardinal principles. It is the main principles to be applied on assessing writing. The first one is practicality. It means about how the assessment can be practiced, can be practicable enough for the students to do that. And then the second one is reliability. It is about how reliable the writing assessment can be applied on the students. Can they do that or not? And then the next one is validity. Is it connect with their learning objectives or their learning process throughout the entire learning process and entire their learning journeys, something like that. And then the next one is about authenticity. Authenticity means how far this assessing writing can measure students' real writing skills on their own writing experience and on their learning journey throughout the learning process. And then the last one is WASPEC. WASPEC, it means that it can also used by the teachers to become some kind of a feedback, something like that, and also can be used by the teachers in order to value them, in order to see how much is their progress in doing in producing a written language test or whatever it is. Yeah. So jump to the next question. We will explain about the key issues.
Okay, so I will continue explain about key issues and writing assessment. So writing assessment is actually not simple task because teacher have to balance 2 important things. It's like practical needs, like time and scoring, and the need to measure student real writing ability. And this balance is not always easy to achieve. So we have provided you 3 key issues in writing assessment. I will explain one by one. The first one is the authenticity dilemma. So we start with the first issue. Authenticity means this writing task should reflect real life. It has to be original and related to their own personal experience or personal life. However, in many tasks, writing tasks are still artificial. For example, a lot of students are using artificial intelligence to make them can do the task. So sometimes it's not always authenticity. And it creates dilemma because on one hand, tests need to be practical and easy to score, but on the other hand, they should represent real communication. So the teachers must find a balance between real world writing and task practicality. And the second one, the thorny issues or scoring. So the second issues more difficult because unlike the multiple choice task, writing cannot easy to score because it's not simply about right or wrong. teachers must evaluate many aspects. For example, teacher must evaluate organization of the text, or clarity, or the grammar, and overall effectiveness. Because of this, scoring can also be subjective sometimes. That's why it creates dilemma. To solve this, there are 3 common scoring methods, and we will talk about it later, but I will explain a little bit. For example, the holistic scoring, 1 overall score, and the second one is an analytic scoring, the tile categories, and the third one is primary trait scoring, focus on one specific goals. And we move to the last one. Okay, the third issue is about time. In real life, writing is not simple because writing needs process, and the process it includes drafting and also revising and then editing. So there's a lot of process when we have to do the writing task. But in most tests, students are asked to write in a limited time sometimes, and because their time is limited, they didn't have enough time to do the revision part. And because of this, some experts argue that writing assessment should include multiple drafts and feedback, not just one final product. So there are the 3 issues: authenticity, scoring, and time show that assessing writing is not just technical, but also requires careful judgment and balance. We will move to the next material.
The next is about micro and micro. So we know that micro skills and macro skills were to identify specific objective for evaluation. So for the micro skill of writing, it's more focused on the imitative and intensive types. So these skills include, the first one is grapheme and orthographic production. It's producing the physical symbols of the English writing system. And the second one for the micro skill is writing speed. So we know that writing is about writing, right? So it's about processing text to an efficient pace and something like that. And the next one is lexical and syntactic accuracy, using an acceptable core of vocabulary and applying appropriate word order patterns. And the next one is grammatical system, correctly using grammatical system because grammar is about rules in writing, right? And the next one is grammatical variation, the ability to express a specific meaning using several different grammatical forms. And the last one for micro skill is cohesive devices, or it means using basic cohesive devices like conjunction, affirmative, or something like that within to write. And for the macro skills, it divides to mastering responsive and extensive reading types and writing types, where to focus to shift toward the art and science. So the skills are include rhetorical forms, using the stabilized forms and competition of written discourses, like for example essay structure or report format. The next one is communicative function. So it's for successfully achieving the purpose of a text. The next one is logical development. So this one is for to convey clear links between events and ideas and communicating relation, as such as main ideas, supporting details, and the other one. And the next one is nouns of meaning. So it between literal and implicit meanings between when composing a text. So we know that in written text, so sometimes there is implicit, something like that. And the next one is cultural context, correctly conveying references that are actually culturally specific within the context of the written pieces. And the last one is strategic writing. So this one is to developing a battery of strategies to improve the quality of the final product. That's for the macro and micro skill. We know that the first one is to focus on The micro skill is to focus to imitative and intensive, and the macro skill is to focus on responsive and extensive writing. So we move to the types. So the types for writing performance, they are imitative, intensive, responsive, and extensive. We will explain the imitative first. Okay, for the imitative, we know that. So imitative is basically copying words or phrases or sentence exactly like, yeah, we just like what we see, what we heard, and we just copy that in written forms. And yeah, it focuses on how something is written, or we can say that it's shadowy, and not focus on what it means. So yeah, as what I said before, it's you repeat what you heard, or what you heard, what you read or read. So it helps beginners learn how to form letters correctly and write simple words. And to the next one. Okay,
Yeah.
move to the next one. We still talk about imitative. So why is it important? So I provide these 4 points. For the first one, spelling correctly. So we have to measuring correct spelling and neat handwriting. And the next one is paying attention to sound and pronunciation. So when we heard something, we need to write it exactly as what the speaker said. And the next one is writing letters and sentence neatly. So we have to write neatly, and yeah, that's the thing. And we have to use basic pronunciation, like we have to use question mark, period, comma. When we heard something or we read something, we have to like copy those things exactly. And the example of the task. So the first one is copying words. When we read apple or we heard apple, we have to write it exactly on the paper. And the next one is copying a sentence. As what I said before, when we hear the people or we read a sentence, we have to copy exactly. And the next one is attention or listen and write. So yeah, when teachers say or the speakers say the cat is on the mat, so we have to write the same thing on the paper, or even write it on our devices. And the next one is fill in missing letters. So when we heard something, so sometimes it's not that's clear. It's not clear at all for some of people who heard that. So we might write when we heard cat, we sometimes maybe can write mat. So it might be wrong. So that's why imitative is about copying what people said. And the last one is correct pronunciation. So intonation is really important when we comes to writing assessment. So it's about what's your name. So it's about it. We use question mark, right? It's because it's about question. So, but people might write the what people say without the question mark. That's from next one.
Alright, on to the next one. We are going to talk about intensive writing. So it is basically writing performance that are focusing yourself on improving yourself instead of finding your own theme of writing. So along the way where you are writing your text, you are exploring your skills and your overall understanding of different type of text instead of just trying to find ideas on your own. And it usually contains 3,000 of words, so you can write as much as possible. And along the way, you can also learn and dive deeper onto your skill set, like vocabulary and grammar and a lot of different skill set that can improve your writing. So the example of the test is that you are told to write anything that you want, and then after that you can try to analyze your own text, and then after you analyze, you can see the weakness and the strength on your writing skills. Then you can adjust, and then in the future you can build your writing skills become much better.
will move to the next material. It's about responsive writing. So what is responsive writing? Basically, responsive writing is a type of writing that sits in the middle between controlled writing and extensive writing. What does it mean? Okay, so in this responsive writings, students are no longer just writing correct sentence, but they start connecting sentences into a paragraph or short text. And according to Brown and his book, responsive writing requires learners to produce a paragraph or a short sequence of paragraphs that are logically connected. Okay, so in responsive writing, there are four main ideas. The first one is about discourse focus. So discourse focus is the main unit is no longer a sentence but a paragraph. Students need to show they can organize ideas using topic sentence, supporting details, and cohesive devices like however, therefore, and in addition. Okay, so we will move to the second one. The second one is purpose driven. Purpose driven, as a second characteristic, is about students write for specific goals. For example, they write to summarize the text, and they also write to responding to a question or explaining information. So they are writing because they have purpose. That means purpose driven. And then the number three, there is some freedom of choice. The third characteristic is that students have some freedom. Unlike controlled writing, they can choose their own vocabulary, sentence structure, and ways to express idea. But this freedom is not really free because they still guided by the task that is given by their teacher. And then the last one. The last one is form as a tool. So the last characteristic is that form becomes a tool, but not the main goal. Students are expected to already understand basic grammar, but now they are focused to clarity, coherence of the text, and how all their ideas are connected to each other. Okay, we will move to the next slide. We have common tasks. It's like common genres or tasks for responsive writing. So in responsive writing, there are common tasks. For example, the number one is writing a short summary and then responding to a reading. And the third one is making a short report after they learn about something new or after they read about some books, they have to make a report. And then the next one is writing a brief narrative or description. And also they have to make like guiding question and answer after reading. And they also do the paragraph construction task. And they also make interpretation with charts or graphs or tables. And the last one, maybe they have to paraphrasing the text that they made by themselves. Okay, that's it. We will move to the next characteristic.
Okay, so now we are moving to the extensive. Yeah. So the idea of extensive is simple, like what you can read. It is to produce, to convey meaning for an authentic purpose. So the idea is that in extensive, you are measuring how you can convey the meaning on the text. So it is mainly focused on measuring how you can construct the meaning, how you can construct the logics on your written language text, or just the process or the strategies that you use on your writing task or whatever it is. So the excessive assessment writing mainly take the idea of macro skills, yeah, because in general they want to focus on how you can create, you can produce first is rhetorical competence. So rhetorical competence is how you can structure your writing, your written language test based on the language discourse. What's the language discourse? Language discourse is how you can produce meaning, how you can construct logic, how you can use some kind of persuasive or rhetoric language, like your emotions there, your logics there, or whatever is the meaning, the ideas or the connection ideas between paragraph 1 and then the next paragraph. It is very important on measuring the extensive assessment purposes. And then the next one is logical development. Yeah, logical development is how you can convey connection, yeah, between events that you are write with how you can deliver the writing test into the connection with your ideas, or you can add your supporting details there, or you can the connection between paragraph 1, paragraph 2. It is the order of the logic themselves on which will be the criteria on how you can measure the logical development. And then the next one is the strategic writing. Yeah. So it is how you develop your battery. It is how you develop your power of your writing skills. It is on your writing a persuasive writing, or you're writing or descriptive writing, or you're writing another kind of text which is valued based on what strategies that you are using on the written task. And then the last one is about the nuance and the context. So from the name we can guess what does it mean. So it means that how you can distinguish between literal and implied meanings correctly, used in a certain context. For example, if you want to use persuasive writing, you can use it in order to persuade someone or the readers. If you want to use a description text, you can use it in order to describe something. For example, you can describe yourself, you can describe your home, or whatever it is. The purpose is you can do that based on what context. So that is the essence. And then the task categories, for example, like full like essays, you write about essays of persuasive essay. You can write about opinion text, or about magazines or news, and so on and so forth. And then the next one is term papers. Term papers is something like the paper that used for deliver an information or something like that. So or you can use the term papers on certain theme that you are using to produce a written language text. And then the next one is major research project reports. Is something like when you are doing a report, you need to report on that. So the idea is that you have to write the idea or the logic behind the reports that you are using. And then the last one is thesis or dissertations. In this context, thesis and dissertation are using extensive assessment, because in thesis and dissertation, when you do that, sometimes the teachers, the lecturers or your lecture guiders, on doing your thesis and dissertations, are seeing how good your logic is developed throughout your thesis, how good you can connect ideas between the social into the written text, and then how good you can deliver your meaning or your purpose on thesis and or your dissertations. So right now we are going to having a workshop. You can do this on your home or wherever it is. So we will also provide you on the link, so you will click the link on the description below. So maybe you can just click on the assessing writing. Okay, so continue to external side. Okay, so this is the assessing writing workshop. So we have like around 6 tasks that you can read this later on your home or whether it is. There are 6 steps. The first one is to determine the purpose, and then the next one is to define the construct, and then the task 2 is to design the test specification, and then you need to develop it, and then you need to plan the test administration, and then the last task you have to design the scoring and the feedbacks. We have already provided some criteria and the steps and the guidance, and also some notes that you can use in order to do the writing workshops on your classroom or on whatever it is. You can use it directly. So yeah, that's it from all of us. I give it to Damas for the closing.
Okay, thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope that this video can help you guys to improve your overall writing skills. And thank you for watching guys. I'll
Thank
see you in the
you.
next
Thank
video.
you.
Bye bye. See you again in the
Bye-bye.
next video.
See you
See you.
in class.
Thank you.